everyone, my name is Sarah, also known as Witchling Simmer, and this is my first ever CAS Monday. So this is going to be a bit of a different video from a regular CAS video, since I will be telling you how I create Sims using my gameplay rules and how I set up Sims in a neighborhood that will be played rotationally. The first thing I do is decide which Sims will be needed for a neighborhood. Since the Sims that I'll be creating for the next couple of weeks are all Sims for my Oasis Springs rotational, which will involve mystery, conspiracy, science, and secret occults, I decided that I would need a scientist, a programmer, someone in the military, a politician, a doctor, an astronaut, an engineer, a farmer, a baker, and a florist. The last three are because of different shops that I'll need in town, but everyone else is just aiming for that whole scientist and secret occult vibe that I'm trying to bring into this town. Today I'm creating my scientist, Dimitri Bunsen, my programmer, Alice Leet, and my politician, Rhiannon Radical. The first thing I do when I create one of these Sims is I roll between 1 and 4 on random.org to decide the skin type, which falls into the ranges of pale, light, tan, and dark. Dimitri rolled a 4, so I chose a dark skin tone for him. I roll the eye color in this way and the hair color. In this case, I also rolled the hair type, the texture, and Dimitri ended up with straight hair rather than afro-textured or wavy, so that is what I ended up giving him. When it comes to clothing, I spin a wheel, which has a number of clothing categories, and then match the Sim's clothing style to that category. So Dimitri rolled a soft, cute style, so that's what I gave him. And I matched his hair to this style as well to give him just a softer edge to him, and then was aiming to make him just look kind of kind and sweet and a little bit more gentle to suit the style that I had ruled when making these decisions for him, so that it would all match the general style that I was going for. I was trying to decide if I wanted freckles as well, because those are just such a soft thing to me, and I loved his nose the way it was, so I went for no nose overlay. If anything, I was trying to make it harsher, but I couldn't manage that. I really like very distinct features on Sims, and his nose is definitely one of those things. For the other Sims, Alice Leet's lips are a very peculiar shape, and I'm guessing she will pass along her very strong face shape to her children. And Rhiannon Radical is just utterly beautiful and has a very interesting eye shape, which I think she'll pass along as well. Her base Sim is actually the child of 2 Sims that I had created previously, so her background is Filipino and black, and she's a beautiful Sim, and I didn't change very much on her at all just because I love the way that she looks so much, and since she was a genetic child, I didn't really want to mess with that. So I was deciding on whether I wanted facial hair, and I chose a very light stubble for our friend Dimitri here. And yeah, I thought about changing his hair, but I ultimately decided that he just looked so charming with this longer hair that I had to keep it. The Sim that had originally been rolled was very buff, and I did not like that for him because we were going for very soft curves and edges and nothing like hard muscles or anything like that. He's just a very soft geek, and that was what I was trying to convey with his clothing choices. I wanted everything to just be comfortable, nothing that would be in any way restricting him or making it seem like he wasn't just ready to go on the couch with a nice book. When I decide their traits, I usually do it ahead of time using the random trait and aspiration generator, but for the sake of doing it on camera, I end up aging the Sims down to children to assign their first traits. When you're aging a Sim naturally, they only have select traits available when they're children and teens, so all Sims end up with one of those 34 traits. I use traits that fall into that category as decider traits. The first decider trait they roll will decide their aspiration, and they must roll one decider trait either upon child age up or teen age up. Any decider traits that show up after that are supplementary and don't affect the aspiration, as that's already been decided. So when we get to it, Dimitri ends up rolling genius as his decider trait, which makes him a knowledge sim. So throughout the course of his life, he will focus on knowledge-based aspirations and scholastic pursuits. So my scientist is a cute little bookworm, and I like that for him. Here, I think that I end up changing that shirt because it's the same one that Paolo Rocco wears, and I am not super fond of him as a sim. So I ended up going for this soft paranormal shirt, which I think is maybe a little fancy for Dimitri, but I imagine that he went to a thrift store and just picked it up and was like, yeah, this is fine. It's my favorite color. Why not? He was very easy to dress because, unlike the others, I hadn't used one of my own base sims for him. So I used the other two from sims I had created previously, but he was just one of the Maxis sims. So I basically just let him keep what he had on, but recolored it to be his favorite color, which was the first clothing choice that he decided when I rolled it for him. So that soft sweater was yellow, so his favorite color is yellow. I really like these clumsy alien CC clothes for many sims, but I think it really suited him very well. So I was considering trying to find him another one to wear, but I couldn't end up finding him one in his everyday category. So I left him with what he had, and here he is in all of his glory with all of his outfits. And there are his traits. And in a second, I will be choosing the aspiration as well. He is a very cute little guy, and I am interested to see who he winds up with, if anyone, or what his host of alien children are going to look like. He is hot-headed, a genius, and childish. And here is Alice. Alice is a spellcaster, so I chose all of the occults randomly as well when I was setting up the neighborhood and deciding what kinds of sims I needed. There are a few spellcasters, one mermaid and one vampire. I can't think of whether there was anything else. I believe that's it. But she is a very interesting looking sim. She ended up rolling skin 1, so I had to choose a pale skin type for her, which I did not think looked great, but it seems to look better in the playbacks than it did in game, strangely enough. She was just very pale, and it was hard to make anything look good on her because of how very pale she was. She ended up rolling blonde hair as well, which suited her skin tone. And I think I made some very small changes to her skin details, but not very many. I just gave her some dimples, and I wanted to give her a blush, but all of them didn't look so great on her, to be honest. And she has brown eyes, but I end up at the end of it choosing a overlay for her so that she has a more magical quality to her eyes as well. So they have a slight lavender flush to them. Yeah, she's very pale, and it makes it very hard to dress her. Her favorite color is purple, which I really liked, and her clothing style is casual. So as a casual clothing type, it's kind of boring to dress them because the clothes are just, casual. They're everyday clothes that you would see anybody wear when they're running out to the grocery store or anything like that. So it's not very interesting stylistically, which is why I kept her for quite a while in this hair clip, but I think I end up changing it to a slightly cuter hairstyle at the very end. But I was just trying to make her a little bit more interesting for my sake, so I didn't hate playing her just because she was boring. And her formal outfit, I'm not too sure about. I don't really like it, but it was kind of a casual outfit, so did the casual clothing style that she has. You can see I cut out a lot of it, but I was having quite a struggle with her makeup because of how pale she was. I really feel bad for anyone who does have this skin tone in real life, just because it's very hard to find clothing and makeup that looks good and doesn't wash you out. Maybe it's easier in real life than The Sims, but in The Sims, it was certainly a struggle to try to get everything with that looking good on her without making her look like a corpse. It was tough. Just trust me, it was very tough. This is another clumsy alien top, which I just love all of the clumsy alien things. The texture is a little bit different than Max's Match, but I still like it. And I think that she ends up looking very cute in this outfit in particular. And unlike other Sims where I would have chosen boots or high heels with that outfit, I gave her sneakers because she is who she is. She is a casual loving girl. And she just likes comfy vibes that are basic. She is basic, okay? She's a basic girl. I love that she ends up rolling the trait of lazy as well. And so she's this lazy geek who is probably going to choose to do hacking because she would rather steal other people's money than make her own. And she'll be working with games a lot as well, which suits her because her hobby that she rolled is actually games with a specialization in chess. So Alice is 19 and she doesn't have a degree because she wanted to focus on the hacking and the get-rich schemes. But when I do hobbies, it's a little bit complicated. I have a full list of them with specializations and hobby categories. We'll hopefully have that coming to my website once I have time to set everything up. But once I do manage, I will drop a link in the description box below. So yes, I think that I am just almost done with her. I'm doing some final touches and adding in some jewelry, and there will be a big skip soon because I was changing my mind about a lot of things with her. Yes, and there I aged her down to give her her perfectionist trait, which is what decided her aspiration of a fortune sim. And there she is with her final touches. And there's Dimitri again, just to compare. Yeah, I think she ended up very cute. And moving on to Rhiannon. Rhiannon is obviously going to end up a knowledge sim as well, because the trait that she rolls is geek. You can see that she is quite beautiful. The sim that I am playing with, her base sim I am using in another save that I'm playing on my own, and her name is Luna Batista in that one, and she is very fun. But I think I'm going to enjoy playing Rhiannon Radical. She is a very interesting type of sim because she is going to be the politician, but she also ends up with the Renaissance sim aspiration, which means she's going to change her mind a lot and go through at least a couple of careers before deciding on being a politician. She is essentially that crazy chick living out in the woods, trying to convince people that aliens are real and witches are real, and the government is trying to keep this from us. But if you vote for her, she is going to bring all of the secrets to light, and she just wants truth. It's not that she's xenophobic or anything. She just wants everybody to be out in the open and wants everybody to know things because she loves knowledge so much herself that she hates it when people try to keep it from others. And there is the time skip after I did her makeup because I took a long time on her makeup. As you can see, she's wearing a lot of it, and that is one of the indicators of her goth style. I think that the makeup is one of the things that is one of the biggest visual cues for a goth style. It's not like you can reach into her head and figure out what her favorite music is. When you are trying to decide who is a goth, the makeup is usually a decent clue. I actually end up going in and changing her outfits again after the video ends because I realized that she was living off in the woods in a bunker and she was wearing the short skirt as her main outfit. So I end up switching her to a pair of jeans and adding this as a secondary outfit. Here I was trying to decide the tattoos, and I go through quite a lot of them. I want to say it took me 20 minutes on the tattoos alone. but I eventually chose these more discreet shoulder tattoos for her. I was trying to get her a decent full body tattoo, but I couldn't find one I liked. So I ended up choosing what I chose, and I like it. Her hobby is science with a specialization in fossil collecting. She's 21 years old and she has a degree in communications from Foxbury. So when she manages to figure out what she wants, she is going to be a fabulous politician, and she is going to run the group in town that is going to be trying to find out all of the secrets. Her house is going to be built. You'll see this be built on Friday, but it is this cool bunker, and she has like a listening device station in it, and eventually she's going to plant bugs on all of her political opponents and listen in on them and blackmail them so that she can get the truth out to everybody who needs it. And I think she's going to be a blast to play. I do have her as paranoid, which is not a trait I like playing with a lot of times, but it's hardest if you pair it with erratic, because then those two are just very hard together. And the last time I played paranoid was paired with erratic, and it was a struggle, trust me. I think that I had forgotten that I wanted to make her paranoid, so when I end the video, she has the perfectionist trait, but I end up replacing that with paranoid because that is a trait that I had chosen for her, even though I don't normally, because she is such a major figure in the storyline of the town that I had to do a small amount of Deus Ex Machina just to get her personality the way I wanted it. So here she is in all of her outfits. Her favorite colors are black and green. And yep, I aged her down. She's a mean sim. She's not a very nice girl, but she is lovely. And here are all three. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please comment, like, and subscribe. And I hope that you have an awesome day. Bye.